What's up, y'all? This is Rom coming back at you with yet another car video. Any man can develop sex appeal. Wait a minute, y'all. Coming from a different spot, I had to drop the youngest off at his high school. And you might recognize it if you're from Harford County or went to this high school. But anyway, any man can develop his sex appeal. Because understand something, man. I've said this several times, did several videos. Looks and sex appeal are not the same thing. It's not. It's a part of it at best, but it's something that you can develop. It's more of a mindset and everything, like your attitude towards sex. And the looks parts come in, like your facial features, your body build, and everything that comes in, because women simply like different things. Because when women are turned on by a man, it's everything working together. You know, that's why you got that term ugly hot. Like the dude could have, conventionally, and he's not conventionally attractive, but something about his personality, how he carry himself and everything, turns on the woman. Because, and two things I want to get into. Two things real quick. Honestly, when people say conventionally attractive, that's very cultural. If you it is about hundreds of beauty cultures around the planet, and different things turn on somebody. It depends on the culture. It really does. I remember I saw something online yesterday. They were talking about, well, that European look, that tall, chiseled jaw, maybe some facial hair and stuff. But then they also mentioned in a Nigerian thing, thicker, stockier, beard game. And that's what they said. Or even if you look at the black community in America and compare it to others, and let's just be clear, when I'm saying black, please don't get in the comments saying, well, black women this and that. No, we're talking about women in general. I'm using it as an example. Bald and bearded is a popular style. So it depends on the culture, where you at, all that stuff. Even within groups. I'll use the black community for example again. If you're in the Nation of Islam or something, you clean shaven. The women who like that look, that's different. Or if you in that goth community and shit. There's a certain look that they like, certain aesthetic. So conventionally just means whatever the mainstream says, but that changes from year to year too. And the theys, they'll say, okay, this in style now. The theys usually be, fashion people, stuff like that, trying to get you to buy their product. So, that's one thing. And then with women just like different shit, man. I don't know why guys don't understand that. They think women just like one type of man. And though, I don't care what, no matter how popular it is, there's some women like something else. Like, I saw this survey, and it was talking about body builds that ladies like. And, a plurality, they surveyed 1,000 women, a plurality of them, maybe about rounded up to 45%, like athletic build. But then, in the 30% range was lean, 30%. And then keep that in mind, because, they like stocky, like in, 15 to 20% range. And then they say skinny, 4% roughly. So, here's the thing with all of that, though. Obviously, yeah, one might be more popular, but there's no absolute one. And so physically, women like different things. That's why I say for body game, just get your best body and see who likes it. That's when I get into the tribe. Okay. But that's just the physical. Women can remember something. Women also, their vaginas are moved by emotion. You might take some action. In fact, I think I mentioned this in a video last week. I think I mentioned this, I was doing some texting back and forth with a young friend of mine, and a very attractive young lady, and she says she's more moved by a man's actions. She's more moved by a man's actions. I've talked to a lot of young ladies, attractive. They move by a man's action, and it's not some virtue. See, some guys think they lying, but how many women have you talked to? If I'm standing in front of a woman, if I can tell when she lying, easily. You just gotta read her body language. There's certain tells, how they look at you, tone of voice, how quick they answer a question, everything. But that's another conversation. And you don't have to believe me. Look up videos on body language, and you got some experts telling you how to read it. My bottom line is I can tell when they're honest and not honest. And really the most important thing, I see who they interact with. I see the type of guys they interact with. And it's all different. That's why you'll have some very beautiful women interacting with some guys, and people be like, what? But I said, you don't know what turns that woman on sexually. And that brings it back around. See, a lot of guys think it's just a physical thing. They say, oh, if I don't look like Chad, or if I'm not tall, or even with body game, if you ain't super muscular, it depends on the woman. It depends on the woman. Like, you got Black Panther 2 coming out, and we ain't gonna get into some stuff with that, but the character Winston Duke who played M'Baku, shoot, several women told me, said, yeah, they give him some. There was a meme going around about some woman talking about he looked like that type of guy she would have a bunch of babies with. And I actually knew through a lady friend, this player that worked at her gym. Well, that he didn't work at it, he worked out at the gym. And he weighed, only thing you could say he had the height, but he had a round face, and his body wasn't cut. But women were going crazy over him. And this is just to say, look, what's the common denominator for it? It's just that charisma. It's just the attitude towards it. A lot of guys because they sexually repressed, they don't have a positive attitude towards sex. Because here's the thing. If you have a positive attitude towards sex, one, you give off that vibe to a woman, but two, if you have that, that'll be the main thing. And then paying attention to the women who are turned on by you, because that's the biggest thing. And anybody a lot of people say, "Mom, you giving away free game." Actually, I just give away a part of it, and body game is just a part. Anybody, like, every now and then I get somebody, oh, you think it's just body game? No, if you show me the video, I say just body game. I say it makes an important thing. And what do I say about body game? Getting your best body. Because trust me, they're gonna look. But the thing is, the best body for one woman is different for another woman. For one woman, you got to be athletic. Another woman, you got to be stocky. I still remember 2 very attractive women looking at me and calling me small. And I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, they were like, shit, you need to put some weight on. One told me she's going to put 40 pounds on. But that's what turned her on. So, but the bottom line is, that's just, like I said, that's one physical part, but it's your mindset and what works for you. Because different things going to work. Because some women, you're going to have to be, you got to be that real confident dude. Some women they really are turned on by a man who can make them think. Now, let me give you some, because I always say, I'm still learning. I ain't going to stop learning. And I wasn't big on that whole sapiosexual thing. I was like, man, that's some bullshit. But as I got older, I was like, okay, some women are. Because here's the thing. Even when you're dealing with women who are sexually repressed, they still got a trigger. And that's the way to see it. You don't know what a woman's trigger is, and it ain't always physical. It ain't always physical. You could remind her of her daddy. You could resemble her imprint, and you don't know what her imprint is. She might just simply like you. Seriously, she might just simply like you. And I got some videos coming up going on some of these points. But, she might just like you. She around you, talk to you, feel comfortable. That might be what it takes. It could be like how you style yourself. It depends, because ultimately, women look for, men too, but women more so, they look for whatever reflects inside of them. That's why some of the best couples always look alike. So whatever she is, like if she's like, say she's like one of those women who's like herbal tea type of women. Herbal tea. Hippie type. Guess which guy, like that real conservative guy, I don't care what he look like. He can have like what some people think is like the ultimate thing, but she ain't turned on. Now, if he's like, look like he's that herbal tea, vegan, locked type of guy, and that's what she is, hell, shit, she getting hot. Seriously. In fact, and this is almost another conversation, if you want to find out any woman, trust me on this, pay real close attention to her and really like see what she's really about. Try to see past the mask. And incidentally, I started talking about like people think I'm giving them free game here. Like I said, I talk more about reading women on Rom TV, and I got a few videos on my on-demand thing, because that's always my main thing. Because then when you read that woman, you already have an idea whether or not, if you know who you are, whether or not you would appeal to her. Because seriously, you look at any couples, and it's rare. Is that my buddy? Look like it from a distance. I'll catch up with her. Anyway, if you deal with if you really look at them, really get to know them, and then see who they actually like, one way or the other, it's usually a reflection of them. That's their general ideal. That's their general ideal. And it's like, it's nothing wrong with that. It is what it is. And the more you match that ideal, the more she turned on by it. And like I said, it's not always... See, I'm going to tell you what, a lot of times, people, you got to be careful what's promoted in the mainstream, because that's mostly the sale. That's mostly the sale. They promote certain images in the movies, TVs and stuff. They selling a narrative. But if you go out in the streets, and that's why I say go out, even on social media, people will say, oh yeah, this guy got all these followers and all of that. Okay. But if you go in the streets and you see who's actually getting the women, it's always different. Now, let me be clear. A sociologist would call it qualitative research, basically field research. That's why many call me the field master. Because I take what I see on social media or even studies with a grain of salt. I go out and see what's actually happening. I'm actually unlike a lot of people, I know a lot of people, seriously. I know a lot, at least acquainted with. I'm very stringent with who I would call a friend. But if you say acquaintance, somebody I could stop and have a 15, 20, half an hour conversation with, I know a whole lot. I know if the men, I know which women are fucking with them. Because you start talking, guys either going to complain or say, man, got these women and shit, and, And I could tell somebody lying on this shit. It's something. I ain't going to give you all the tricks, because then somebody could come on, figure it out, and then come on and try to act like they're getting all this. No. But, you can figure it out. You can see them. You can see the women. If you out and about, you can see who interacting with them. Like, I use my son for an example. He's real, my oldest is, he's calm and introverted, and you don't think girls like him. But I'm like, damn, every time we out, girls like him. I mean, shit. And he He put on the first 3 things he stepped on. Decent haircut. Decent. But, girls be going, always look, always. They always giving them a second look and shit. Right? So, but my point with even sharing that is, I'm out here observing. That's why I always ask somebody come, got some shit to say. I always ask what streets they from. Seriously. 1, to fuck with them, but 2, to see where their perspective is. Because I asked somebody one time that, and they said they were over in England. I said, okay, I ain't been there. I don't know the situation. But I know what's in the East Coast region, ranging from Philly to Northern Virginia. That's a big region. And I know what's happening there. And then going to San Diego, going to Atlanta. I was even peeping some shit when I was in Houston. So, my point is, you start seeing it, then it's like, well, hold up. This dude is pulling a woman on the dance floor. Like when I was at Houston after one of the summits. And I remember this dude bigger than me. But I saw him straight pull a woman. She gave that phone number, everything. But then according to some people who try to go by only thing they see on social media, he shouldn't have been getting anything. Shit. But he was dancing with all the women, everything. He was on straight dog mode. Plus, just from experience, he had that look like he was getting a lot of women. Just on his behavior. Because after a while, see, the thing is, once you personally know players, you'd be like, wait, let's go against the narrative that people have online, or even like people in these pill communities say. And it'd be like, well, hold up. He shouldn't be getting any. Shoot. And shoot, sometimes you can see it on social media. You see some of these fetish communities and stuff. And see, that's another thing too. That's why it's a little bit more complicated than a lot of people talk about, because when you talk like some of these tantra communities, these fetish communities, BDSM, the guys tearing up ain't always like the fashion model looking dudes, And plus, even in the streets, you get some guys, they can point, they can pick out, they know which women are going to fuck. So, they know which women going to fuck. And my point is at the end of the day, it's just knowing yourself and knowing the women that you're going to deal with. So, and one of the things you got to do for yourself, you got to deal with your own attitude towards sex itself. You got to deal with your own attitude towards sex. And then you still need to develop yourself as best as possible physically. And not just because it's the only thing, but you never know which woman is turned on by you, regardless of your height or body build. But you need to present your best. And then work on your personality. Seriously, a lot of guys lose out. Seriously, I'm just going to be real. A lot of guys just got a fucked up personality. And they think some women going to like it. Women are just as emotional. Shit. If you can touch a woman's emotions, I mean, if you can't get on just some raw primal lust, you get the emotions. Oh, she'll open up. She feel comfortable around you. She feels safe around you and everything. Oh, she'll open up. But see, a lot of guys don't even have that. Because it come down to one statement. Do you turn her on? Boom. Period. And you either do or you don't. And different things, For some women, it is that conversation. For some women, it's your actions. For some women, it's going to be based more on your looks. But here's the thing. Even for the ones that's based on your looks, she's taking your personality into consideration. For the ones who about the personality more and actions, they still looking at you. So everything. But then it all starts from your attitude. Because you got some guys, they'll do everything that's suggested they'll do. They'll go in the gym. There are some guys, they'll go in the gym, they'll dress a certain way, cut their hair a certain way, and still have trouble. Their mindset ain't right. Their mindset. Because here's the thing, even personality, because you got some guys thinking, oh, personality don't matter. But personality actually affects how you look. Like I saw this video this morning. Part of it is a woman talking about how ugly she was. And I looked at her and I said, she had, all she needed was a serious dermatologist. Seriously, her bone structure was like, oh. I was like, wait a minute, she ain't bad just on a pure bone, but two things she had bad for her. She had some acne, which that can be dealt with, and then her personality was dour, so that made her look unattractive. Because one of the things, though, because even how you smile, your personality, it can make you look a certain way, It can make you look a certain way to certain women. Or how serious, like your facial expressions and stuff. And women go a lot on that. Very few women go purely on bone structure. So even that, but that's affected by your personality. And then that also affects how you move, how you walk around and everything. All right. Yeah, dude, turn around. Yeah, just understand something. Growing up, okay, he's just cleaning, because I'm just looking at this dude moving around. I always pay attention to everything. That's why when I'm parked, I'm still looking around. Misspent childhood, but anyway. But yeah, but that's the thing. You gotta work on that. You work on that, and part of that is your whole attitude towards women. And that's still another conversation. Because let's just be real, a lot of guys don't like women. That's just the reality of it. Want pussy, but don't like the women. I'm like, come on now. Come on. And women can feel that shit. They gotta feel comfortable with you. At a minimum. They gotta feel comfortable with you. Hell, even sex workers won't fuck some dudes, even if they pay. So, there's a lot to it. And now I know some people say, well, what do I find? How do I find? Dude, I got so much material out there. Go through my archives. Don't look for the quick answer. Take your time, go through my archives. Get on my Patreon, because at my higher level, my $20 level, it's pure sexual dynamics. Pure sexual dynamics and stuff. That's why sometimes people will ask me, hey, can you do this? Like, it don't have nothing to do with that. Because that's really what it comes down to. It comes down to the sex. Who turns them on. And it goes beyond what a lot of guys think. Because ask yourself one thing. Like some guys think, oh, it's just one physical type or phenotype or whatever. Really? Like I said, the only real receipt is a baby. Who popping out babies out here? That tells you more. Who popping out multiple babies? Who tells you more? And shit. If they just going for one phenotype, how come you got some babies who are big or real skinny? Ask yourself that. It ain't the food. It ain't the food. So, you get these big kids playing football and everything. Apparently in most cases, their parents, especially their fathers, got a certain bill. There's always exceptions, but yeah. So, just think. And all you would have to do is figure out, okay, what works for you? You need to develop your shit. What worked for you and which women are responsive to it. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. That's why I talk about the tribe. It's that simple. Figure out, okay, which women generally show you some love and which women don't. And that's at a basic thing. If you get deeper, you still got to talk about culture and class, what part of the world that you're in and stuff. Because, like I said, somebody said something, they say something about England, like Europe. A couple people said it's like women like the feminine looking guys. Maybe they do there, but oh shoot, you in some urban areas or some cities in the U.S., oh, you better look like you can fuck up some shit. even if you wear a suit and tie. So, in general, and that's still general. That's still general. You know, but as a person, figure out what worked for you. Because all the players, I know, dudes who definitely get multiple women, or at least find women if they ain't getting multiple women. They don't think it's nothing similar about them all. Ain't nothing, you know. Oh shit. In fact, I'll be real with you, man. Just from observation, the quote unquote Chads be good if they get one woman that I've known. Shit. They will be good if they got one woman. And it's rarely the women you think. It's rarely the women you think either. Oh man. There's a lot to it, y'all. But anyway, figure out what works for you. Alright? So anyway, that's all I got for today. I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.